Hey everybody, Dr. Sanderson here. Welcome to Unit 3, where we're going to be talking about compelling content on social media, or in other words, how is it that organizations are able to get their content noticed by the audience compared to all the content that's out there. So if you just think about scrolling through your Facebook feed or your Instagram feed or whatever feed you want, there's tons of content there. So what is it that makes us stop and engage with a piece of content? And that's going to kind of be our focus here in Unit 3. And so one thing Vaynerchuk talks about is that in order to do that, he outlines 6 specific strategies for compelling content, but we have to understand, I think one of the key things he talks about is understanding the native structure of each platform. So, and making sure our content aligns with that. So, in other words, one key thing he talks about is that our content should match the content that people are seeking when they go to that platform. So, for Instagram, what kind of content are people seeking when they go to Instagram? And whatever that is, that's the kind of content that we should be putting out as an organization. So I think there's some really great concepts that he talks about in here in terms of just respecting, why people are going to social media, understanding that they don't want the experience to be detracted by advertising and marketing. And so, while we can definitely give those call to actions or the right hooks, as he calls it, we have to make sure that we're providing the jabs or that gentler, softer content that's going to forge the emotional connection, much more than we provide the sales-oriented posts. And I think that's something really, really important for organizations to remember when they're crafting social media strategy. And it kind of gets back to what we talked about in the first unit, which is that social media works best when it's driven by people and that you use it as a tool to build relationships. And if you do that, if you have that mindset, you understand that the content you need to create needs to connect with your audience. And Vaynerchuk will talk about like sharing experiences with the audience on social media, and that's what we should be striving for, not selling someone something. And if you think about the ways in which many organizations use social media, they kind of have that backwards. So some good stuff in the unit. You're going to look at in the readings. You'll look at some tips for putting out compelling content. I want you to look at particularly, there's an article that talks about, it's from sports, but it talks about how Ohio State University and Clemson University have seen just a lot of success with their social media uh, content for their football programs. And so while it's a sports piece, if you understand the structure and the storytelling, I think those things can be extrapolated to just about any organization and their content. So some things that we have going on in this unit, you'll have your discussion forum question, where I'm going to basically ask you to pick an organization and go to one of their social media platforms and find a compelling piece of content. So that can be any organization you want, can be any platform you want, and you'll post that in the discussion forum, and then talk about how it illustrates some of the strategies Vaynerchuk talks about for compelling content. So same deadlines there, initial post Thursday, response posts by Sunday. And then also remember your LinkedIn profile is due Sunday, so you'll need to submit that through the Blackboard. And you can do that by clicking on the Unit 3 link and then clicking on assignments, and then you'll find the link in there to submit your LinkedIn assignment. But if you can't see that or you have questions, please reach out and let me know. So thanks again for all your great work so far. I've enjoyed our discussions and your interaction in the discussion forum. And I'm really looking forward to your thoughts on compelling content on social media.